Hi guys, hope you're doing good, and this is going to be my last video of the year before I take my winter break. Now normally with these kind of videos I'll normally just do like an update and just say goodbye, but this time I thought it might be quite cool to have a good topic behind the video instead of just that. So I've been looking through all my lists on my phone of bands to check out, and I've got so many bands, it's ridiculous. It's the list is absolutely gigantic, and you know, I've just never had the time to check them out because of videos and, you know, other stuff. I've just, you know, a lot of time has passed and the lists are getting bigger and bigger, so I thought next year I'm just gonna really try to clear the list as much as I can by checking out these bands finally. So I thought for this video it'd be a cool idea if I could pick 10 bands that I've wanted to get into for a really long time that I'll finally check out next year. So yeah, hence the idea for the video, 10 bands that I want to get into next year. So yeah, hopefully this video will be a good one, and hopefully I'll be able to, you know, check some of those bands off the list. So yeah, before I get into the bands, if you're new and you're subscribed, please consider subscribing for more guitar and rock and metal music content. There'll be plenty more videos on the channel if you're new around here, and I'm going to take my break, but there's plenty of videos. Please like, share and comment. All is massively appreciated, and a massive thanks to everyone who's subscribed, all the support throughout the whole year. I really appreciate it. Now let's just get straight into this video. Pretty much all of these bands are going to be well-known bands. A lot of them are going to be sort of second, third tier in the extreme metal scene that I've seen get shown all the time, but I've just obviously never listened to. But the first band is probably the most classic and most obvious out of the 10, and that band is Black Sabbath. I know it's absolutely blasphemy that I've never really listened to it, but I have, but like not full albums. Of course, this band is an absolute classic band. They don't need any real introduction. Everyone knows Black Sabbath. They're like the godfathers of heavy metal. But yeah, I've just never really listened to them that much, apart from the odd song, mostly songs off Paranoid really. But yeah, I don't know what it is, but I've just never found the motivation really to want to listen to them properly until now really. They've got 19 albums, so maybe that's got something to do with it. And they've got a lot of different eras throughout the band's history. For me, because I'm an Ozzy Osbourne fan anyway, I like a lot of his solo stuff. I think that would probably be the most obvious place for me to start, those early Ozzy era albums. So yeah, I'll probably go up to maybe volume 4. So I'll probably try Paranoid. I've listened to most of that one anyway. Master of Reality volume 4 and the self-titled debut, of course. And then we'll see about Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath and Sabotage, and then obviously other stuff after that. I'll just have to see. So yeah, that's the first one. The second band is a Norwegian black metal band that was formed in 1997, and the band in question is 1349. And again, it's a band that I've heard of. I've heard quite a few people show them, talk about them in the VC, and I was looking them up, and they've got 7 albums. The similar bands to them include Mayhem, Marduk, Gorgoroth, Dark Funeral and Immortal, and all them bands I like a lot. If you saw my black metal journey video, you'll know that those bands I really enjoyed. So I don't see why I wouldn't like 1349. But knowing where to start is always the hard thing here. But looking at it, I'll probably just start with the first album and maybe make my way through the first couple of albums and see what I think. So I'll probably start with the debut, Liberation, and then we'll see about maybe Beyond the Apocalypse and Hellfire. But yeah, they're a band that I would like to give a go to, because mainly due to the similar bands that they sound like. The next band that I want to check out, that I've never listened to anything by them, is a classic US death metal band, Malevolent Creation. And now again, just one of those classic death metal bands that I've heard so much about from everyone in the VC. I've never listened to them yet. I've never got round to them yet. And you know, again, they look like a band that I would really enjoy. Going on the similar artists again. Some of the similar artists include Cannibal Corpse, D.I.E, Morbid Angel and Obituary, and again, all them bands I really enjoy, so can't see why I won't like this band. Yeah, and looking at their discography, they've got 13 albums, so it's quite a lengthy discography. But I think probably the best place to start would probably be the first couple of albums, the Ten Commandments and Retribution. I think might be a good place to start there. The next band is another American band, and they're more classed as a death thrash band, formed in 1987. It's Demolition Hammer, and again, this band sort of like another classic sort of second, third tier band from the 80s that I've just not had a chance to listen to, but I've had them on my list for a very long time. This has been massively overdue me to check these out, and they've only got 3 albums out, so there's no excuse. But you know, sometimes the thing with these bands, it's like this, because there's so many bands out there, you just never get a chance to listen to them all. And also, I'll just blame it on the fact that I'm pretty young as well. You know, I've just haven't had the chance yet. But yeah, this band is a band that I've wanted to check out, especially like on the similar bands again. There's Sadus and Sepultura, Dark Angel. You know, if they sound anything like early Sepultura, then I'm going to be a massive fan of that. So yeah, I'll probably, just for starters, I'll probably just try the first 2 albums, Tortured Existence and Epidemic of Violence, and see how I go there. Next band is one of, well, probably the most modern band out of all of these. A metalcore / melodic death metal band that was formed in '98, and another American band, All That Remains. And this one is one of the last of the really big 2000s metalcore bands that I haven't checked out, and I've been wanted to for quite a long time, because they are sort of in the similar vein to Killswitch Engage and As I Lay Dying, 2 bands that are 2 of my favourite metalcore bands. Also, similar artists include Trivium, Shadows Fall, and you know, I really like them 2 bands as well. However, looking more into their stuff, it looks like that they sort of changed their style after the first couple of albums, so I don't know whether I'll be into those albums too much, but the early stuff from the mid 2000s is where it's at for me, and that's probably where I'm going to listen, you know, to this band. I'm going to try them out. So their first 3 albums, Behind Silence and Solitude, This Darkened Heart, and The Fall of Ideals, will probably be the ones that I'll check out from this band. So the next band that I want to tick off the list is Prong. And Prong are another American band. They are sort of started off as a crossover thrash metal band, and then they sort of morphed into like a industrially groove metal band in the middle period, and now they've kind of gone back to sort of doing like a groove thrashy kind of thing going on. And they formed in 1986. Similar bands include Pantera, Fear Factory, Machine Head and Corrosion of Conformity, but that's probably mainly based on maybe their newer stuff, I don't know. This is a band that I wasn't too sure if I'd like them or not, based on like stuff that I'd heard in the past. But after seeing Dave at Cavernous Carnage, he did a video not too long ago about Prong, one of their albums, and also I saw JC Rock and Metal Reviews. He did a review of their newest album, and from the clips that I heard watching that video, it sounded really good. It sounded very much like Machine Head with a bit of like Pantera in there. It sounded really heavy, and I thought it sounded really good, so I thought I'm definitely going to check this band out now after seeing that. They've got 12 albums out, so quite a big discography. But yeah, I'd like to give a go to some of the early stuff and the latest stuff as well. So the latest album is State of Emergency, so I'll definitely be checking that one out. And a couple of the early ones, maybe Beg to Differ, Prove You Wrong, and see how we go from there. The next band is another absolute classic band that I've never listened to. It's a Swedish death metal band formed in 1988, and that band is Dismember. Again, a lot of the death metal fans are gonna be like, it's sacrilege that you've never listened to them. And yeah, you know, I'm still pretty new to death metal, so a lot of these slightly bigger bands I just haven't gotten around to yet. So yeah, Dismember is just one of those bands, you know, one of the classic Swedish death metal bands that I've just never listened to. But to be fair, I haven't actually listened to that much Swedish death metal anyway, apart from Entombed and a couple of the melodic death metal bands. That's about it. Like the old school classic death metal scene, I haven't really listened to that much. So yeah, they're one of the big guys like Entombed and Carnage and Grave, and Unleashed. Yeah, I've seen them shown quite a few times, but more recently I saw that there was a box set that came out and it pretty much had their whole discography in it, and I've seen a couple of people show that and talk about it, and it kind of made me want to go check them out. And I remember there was a video that I think Altars of Madness did, and he had one of the albums playing in the background, and it sounded really cool. So yeah, the albums that I'll probably check out are probably the first three, like an ever-flowing stream, like an ever-flowing stream, Indecent and Obscene, and Massive Killing Capacity, and that was the one that Matt was playing. So yeah, that's that one. The next band is another real classic band, but this one kind of divides a bit more opinion than some of the others on here, I think. That band is Voivod. Voivod are a Canadian progressive thrash metal band formed all the way back in 1981. I was very surprised when I saw that. I thought they were a bit later than that, but really early. And yeah, they kind of combined that progressive sound with thrash metal basically, and I think over the years they've sort of gone more in the progressive vein than the thrash metal vein. Yeah, and for that reason I know that they're a little bit of a Marmite band. You either like them or you don't. I think there's something with the vocals as well. They're one of them vocalists where you either like or you don't. But I've always kind of been a bit intrigued by them and their sound, and you know, the fact that they're a bit different. I quite like that, and I definitely have wanted to give them a try. I've seen loads of people show them in the past as well and talk really highly of them. including JC's reviews, some of his modern reviews of their newer albums. Sorry, including the newest one that came out this year, Morgoth Tales, which I know is a re-recording of older songs. But I was thinking that might be a good place to start, to be honest, because they've got a massive discography, 16 albums. That's ridiculous. But yeah, I wasn't really sure where to start. Maybe the new stuff, Synchro Anarchy, but also the classics as well. Some like Killing Technology and Dimension Hatroths might be a good place to start. Or Raw, because I think that one's a bit more thrash metal. So yeah, I'm still a little bit in the dark on where to start for Voivod, to be honest. The penultimate band that I really want to get into next year is the almost pioneers of brutal technical death metal, and that's Suffocation. And again, a massive classic band that I've never listened to a single song. They formed all the way back in 1988, and yeah, some of the sort of forefathers almost of brutal technical death metal, alongside Cryptopsy, Dying Fetus, and Nile, and all them bands I actually haven't listened to either, which is probably even more sacrilege. But you know, is what it is. I've seen them shown loads and loads of times, especially like the early classic albums. And they've got a new one out as well. I saw JC's review of that. They've got a new vocalist apparently, I think. So that's interesting. But I feel like probably the best place for me to start with would be the early classics. I should say they've got 9 albums out as well. So yeah, Effigy of the Forgotten, Breeding the Spawn, and Pierce from Within, I think, is where I'm going to start. Effigy of the Forgotten is the one that probably is the most classic out of the 3, but yeah, that's where I think I'm going to start with that band and see how I get on. And the last band that I really want to check out, and this band has been on my list for ages and ages as well, and that band is Sadus, another death thrash band formed in 1985. And again, they're similar artists: Demolition Hammer, Dark Angel, Death and Slayer, which are all bands that I like. Well, I'm sure I'm gonna like Demolition Hammer. And yeah, again, just another one of those sort of second, third tier thrash metal bands that sort of lean on the death metal side a little bit, that I've just had on my list probably longer than the majority of the other bands that I've talked about, to be honest. Just I've heard so much great stuff about the band, especially their early stuff when Steve DiGiorgio was in the band. And again, they've got a new album out, and that sort of intrigued me to want to really go check them out, because they've got this new album out called Swallowed in Black. And hearing little bits of it from, again, JC's album review of it, it just sounded really good, really heavy, really death metal-y, really thrashy as well. So yeah, just a band that I really wanted to try out. And they've only got 6 albums out, which is nice. So yeah, I was thinking like I'm gonna try out some of their new stuff. Their new album's called The Shadow Inside. So I'll definitely be checking that one out, and then some of their classic ones as well, like Illusions and Swallowed in Black. So yeah, that's it. That's my list of bands that I'll be checking out next year. I'm sure there'll be other bands as well. Actually, for this list, I come up with quite a few more that I wanted to listen to, so hopefully I might get an opportunity to check those out as well. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments about these bands. What album should I start with? What's your favourite albums by any of these bands? That'd be really great to know, actually, just to help me on my way. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, this is going to be my last video on the channel for this year. and I actually filmed this well in advance, well over a month ago now. By the time this comes out, it'll be about a month since I filmed it. And yeah, as I've been going into December, I've just been uploading videos that I've had in the catalogue ready to just go up. So I'll be long on my break by now, and I'll just be taking a couple of weeks after this video just with no videos, and I'll probably come back in January, sort of mid-January I'm planning on doing. So yeah, during my break I'm going to just be looking into my channel, looking to try and improve it further, and you know, see if I can take my channel up to the next level, because if I'm being perfectly honest, the growth on my channel hasn't been as great as I would have liked it to be, and I'll kind of just need to take a realistic view on how much time I can still put into this, you know, without it, with it just not really growing that much. So that's what I'm going to look to do next year. I'm going to look to improve and give it one last big push to try and get the channel up to where I want it. And if it don't, then, you know, I'll probably just won't be taking YouTube as serious anymore, but, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, I just wanted to say one last thanks for all the support throughout the whole year. It really means a lot, and I really hope that next year we can just keep pushing and we can get to where I want to. So yeah, I'll see you all next year. Hope you have a great end to your year, and yeah, see you next year. Thanks ever so much for watching if you got this far, and until next time, keep it metal.